What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV, another Infinite Warfare beta video for you. We've discussed how the beta had some issues with infrastructure when it launched and concerns about that. We've discussed the style of the game on the whole and how it doesn't exactly feel like a Call of Duty game and that it should almost be in its own series altogether just because it's so strange and the engine's been kind of reworked a little bit. But now we're finally to that question that you guys have been asking, the answer you've been waiting for. What does the game actually feel like when you get into a match? What's the movement system like? How fast can you kill enemies? What is the game actually going to be like when you pick it up? And we're going to be talking about that in today's video. So let's talk about the movement system first. The movement system is identical to the Black Ops 3 movement system, except it's slower. The whole game, I would say, it's kind of fast and unforgiving, but it's also slow and deliberate. And this perfectly explains the movement system in this game. The movement system is slower than Black Ops 3. In Black Ops 3, your boost pack lasted longer, you could jump higher, you could wall run longer, you could do all of your movement a little bit to the extreme in Black Ops 3. In Black Ops 3, you could jump up in the air, and especially with Afterburner, or I think that was what it was called, but you could boost up in the air, grab onto a wall or something, you could run along that wall and then boost and then turn and then run on the wall again, and then you could do like all these crazy combinations of things in Black Ops 3. You could jump and you could wall run and you could mantle and you could slide and you had all this boost that you could use. Not the case in Infinite Warfare. In Infinite Warfare, you have the exact same movement system. You can do the exact same things. You can wall run, you can boost, you can jump, you can mantle things, you can fire while you're mantling things, you can cook grenades while you're running, and all kinds of nonsense in this game. But it's much slower, it's much more deliberate. You only have so much boost, and there's no afterburner kind of perk. You can get a trait for certain combat rigs that will kind of make your boost charge a little faster, but it's nothing like afterburner. There's no benefit to the movement system in this. Like there's no easy out for creating a more mobile character in this game. It's a hard game to stay mobile in. It is a fully mobile game, and you're always going to want to be moving around because if you stay in one spot for too long, you will get spotted with all the radar and crazy stuff that's happening in this game. You will get spotted, you will get killed. You have to keep moving in this game. That's why it's a fast and unforgiving game. You cannot stop. You have to keep moving. You have to keep kind of chaining your movement together, but you got to be careful about how you do it. You can't come from Black Ops 3 where you're jumping and boosting and running really fast and think that you're going to do the exact same thing in this game. You're going to fall off the map, you're going to die, you're going to fall from a great height, you're going to cripple your legs, and you're going to die. You can kill yourself so easily in this game, and it doesn't even have to do with enemies shooting at you. It can just be 100% up to your movement is what can kill you in this game. So you got to be really careful. You don't have as much boost, so it is a little bit slower. The whole game kind of feels a little bit slower, like sluggish. It does feel like a classic kind of boots on the ground Call of Duty game, but with that little added benefit of you do get a little bit of a higher jump, and you can do some wacky things like mantle up on higher obstacles and run on walls. So it's slow and deliberate in that once you commit to something, we've talked about this in a video earlier today that will be linked in the description down below in the card in the top right corner, but we've talked about this, but your movement is deliberate in that once you commit to an action, you have to commit to it wholly. You cannot just say, I'm going to jump on this wall, and then I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to run backwards on that wall, and then I'm going to jump over to that wall. No. You get like one wall run. Like you get enough boost to get to the wall, and that's it. So you got to be prepared for anything that happens. Enemies that appear, you're not going to be able to jump off that wall and strafe across and shoot them while you're in midair. It doesn't work like that in this game. In this game, you got to be aware of your surroundings and be aware that once I hit that wall, or once I do that jump, or once I mantle on that thing, I'm committed to that. I have to stay in that kind of action zone. I have to keep moving that direction. I can't stop and turn around. That's what gets you killed in this game. When you stop and you turn around and you try and like corner camp, you're gonna get killed. So just be aware of that. Now let's talk about really quickly how the game feels in the gunplay section. Well, let's fast and unforgiving. I already said it. The whole game feels like hardcore, to be honest. Like you die ridiculously quickly. Hit detection is on point in this game. Black Ops 3 hit detection, awful. Awful hit detection in Black Ops 3. You could shoot a guy like 90 times and only hit him 3 times and not get the kill. In this game, hit detection is on point, especially with snipers. Snipers are ridiculously overpowered, and we are going to talk about that in a future video. But most of the weapons in this game will melt you immediately. Like, you will die ridiculously fast. It feels like the whole game is on hardcore all the time. So, you got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to be playing the game like a hardcore game. You got to be acknowledging your surroundings. You got to be listening for people around you, even though it's really hard with all the sound and crazy guns firing and stuff. Like, it's a very loud game. You still have to be aware of your surroundings. You got to be listening for people. You got to be kind of aiming down sights and going around corners and using your personal radar and using all the recon perks and stuff to survive in this game, because if you don't get the first shot off, you're likely going to die. It is an Infinity Ward game. Infinity Ward has always been good for that. Infinity Ward, hit detection is always on point, and you will always die really, really quickly. Treyarch and their Black Ops games, they've always had the slow time to kill in those games. Like, those games, you have enough time to get shot and go, and then turn around and spray them back and get a couple more shots. You can't do that in this game. In this game, if somebody shoots you in the back, you're dead. You don't get to turn around unless they're like the worst player on planet Earth and they shoot you and they hit you with one bullet in the back and then they shoot the next 30 bullets all around you. You don't get to turn around on people. So make sure that your friends are behind you, the enemies are in front of you, and you should do good in this game. Now let's talk really quickly about what I have planned for videos this week. So I've got a bunch of stuff. We're going to be talking about the classic weapons, the mission team, supply drops, salvage system. I'm going to have a different video for each of those, but I'd also like to hear from you guys. What would you guys like to see me do videos on? For the most part, the gameplay clips that I have right now are just my best gameplays. I'm using a variety of weapons. You're going to actually notice I'll start to use the same weapons as we get into the videos because I've found some of the weapons that are my favorites. But if you guys want me to do something specific, like talk about shotguns or talk about sniper rifles, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll get a specific gameplay for that, and we'll talk about that in a future video. But as for this video, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss another video. Click on the little bell and activate your notifications, and I'll see you guys on the next video.